The benefits of First Cuts starts in Final Cut Pro with your logging. Logging may be slightly different to what you would normally do, but it's no more work than what needs to be done when logging for a long-form documentary. We have a number of familiar-ish logging columns. The story keyword tells us what this clip is about. What does it fit with? What would remind us of this clip and its contents? Or what would I search for to get this clip? Where was it shot? Who was on camera? What is the event or theme that it fits into in the overall documentary? The one logging item that you may not currently use is the B-roll search terms. If this clip can take B-roll, what would I search for to find appropriate B-roll? B-roll without search terms would be used when there is no matching B-roll for story, so B-roll that comes from the same location will be used instead. You can optionally include motion templates for lower third style and opening title style that can be used within First Cuts. Start by exporting the bins from the project to XML. We then open that XML into First Cuts, which can take a little while. When it opens into First Cuts, you get an indication of how many bins there are, how many A-roll clips, and how many clips overall, and what you have for opening and lower third motion templates. It's a full report of everything you need. This is the First Cuts interface. At the top you have a quick reminder of how much A-roll you've got to work with. You can do a no limit edit, or you can have First Cuts edit to the duration you want. Enter 5 minutes in here and we'll get a 5-minute edit. If we select no limit, we will get all the material that is available that matches our selected story keywords. The opening title style can be chosen from those motion templates that were in your project. The same applies to lower third templates from your project here. If you choose not to include motion templates, you can still choose the default setting, which will give you an outline text placeholder for lower third titles. We next choose the main story keywords. These are the story keywords that First Cuts knows there is enough material to produce a reasonable edit. Let's choose to edit a story on growing up. We can add additional story keywords to growing up. For example, he grew up in Austria, so we can add that to our story keywords. He grew up Austrian, we can add that or just drag it across. They go out of this list as we use them. I'll also add brothers, because he grew up with brothers, as so many of us did. He grew up exposed to music, and he grew up with a family. And he grew up creative. You can change the order of these story keywords around, and that will change the edit. You'll notice here that the sequence settings are set to the settings that the majority of the footage uses. But if there are multiple types of footage in the project, the alternatives will appear in these pop-up menus, and you can choose them if you prefer. Now we make the edit. The edit is done. Talk about editing in the blink of an eye. We name it and then it is exported back to Final Cut Pro. In Final Cut Pro, import the XML. There's our edited sequence. That sure looks like an edit to me. It's approximately 14 minutes long that shows everything that relates to the story keywords that we chose. There is a story arc from beginning through to the end that makes sense. If we look closer, we can see that we have the opening title template ready for you to add details to. With the lower third, the name is already in place for you. You can also see that appropriate B-roll has been added, and the B-roll audio levels have been reduced proportionally. Each B-roll clip has a fade up and fade down on the audio to smooth the transition. The nice thing is that we can go back to First Cuts anytime and modify the edit. Let's take the brothers out and take family out. They're still there in the source list if we want to use them. For this example, let's add in home and make another edit. That will be growing up 2. It can be a totally iterative process, going back and forwards, making edits, exploring them in Final Cut Pro, and seeing what they look like. You can find out what works and what doesn't work extremely quickly. You can use these edits as a starting point for your own work, or you can use them as inspiration and create your own edits in an empty timeline.